Jungkook is your bully in high school. He makes you do things for him like feeding him chocolates and massaging him. Once you sprain your ankle, Jungkook took good care of you. He carried you in bridal style to your house and introduced himself as your boyfriend. He is very possessive about you. Your co-worker Ben calls you YNE and Jungkook almost killed him for that. A detailed video of Jungkook teasing and flirting with you is pinned in the comment section below. Please take a look. YN's point of view. You didn't have to be so rude. Ben is a nice guy, I said, chucking his ice cream down on the counter harshly. A little too nice if you ask me, Jungkook said bitterly as he sunk his spoon in. No, you're a little bit too rude. Why the hell does he call you YNE anyway? It's such a stupid nickname, he grumbled. You call me Chubbs, I said, laughing at his ridiculousness. Yeah, but that's original. I call you that because you have a cute little face. You think I'm cute? I said in amusement. He paused for a second, realizing that he had accidentally complimented me. You're alright, he said before awkwardly breaking eye contact with me. After a while, Jungkook turned around to glare at Ben's back, who was busy cleaning away a table. He's way too friendly, YN. He definitely has a thing for you. Why the hell does he care so much anyway? That's because he's a nice person, Jungkook. Maybe you could learn something from him. Jungkook scowled at me before proceeding to imitate me childishly. Ben is so cool, blah blah blah. I love Ben, Jungkook said in an extremely high-pitched tone, causing me to let out an involuntary giggle. I sound nothing like that, you idiot, I said in amusement as I hit him on the shoulder. Don't slap your customer, YN, it's rude, Jungkook said with a smirk. Deciding to be cheeky, I grabbed a clean spoon from the counter and quickly swiped a large chunk of ice cream from his bowl. Hey, that's my ice cream, Jungkook whined. Well, it's payback. It's nothing the idiot didn't deserve after stealing my chocolate muffin the other day. He lifted his head to look at me, his eyes flickering down to look at my lips. Why was he looking there? You have some ice cream on the corner of your mouth. I blushed, realizing I must look like an idiot. I wiped the corner of my mouth against my sleeve. It's still there, he said with a smirk, probably getting a kick out of seeing me embarrassed. Annoyed, I attempt to wipe it away again. You're hopeless, let me help you, Jungkook said, leaning against the counter and wiping it away with his finger. I thought he was going to wipe it on his napkin, but without hesitation he licked the ice cream clean from the end of his finger. I just stared at him with shock, not expecting him to do that. What? He said, looking at me in confusion. Nothing, I said awkwardly, even though I could feel my heart beating rapidly in my chest, feeling oddly flustered by what he had just done. Classroom. It was the end of biology and the whole class was starting to pack up their stuff, getting ready to leave. I made my way to the front, waiting to ask the teacher something. Oh, hey YN, are you alright? My biology teacher said as she noticed me waiting by her desk. I'm fine, thank you. I was just wondering if I could get some extra help in biology as I wasn't really happy with my last grade. I explained to her. I didn't think you need the help, but I can try and find you a tutor if you like, she said, smiling at me kindly. Jungkook, who had annoyingly taken forever to pack up his bag, turned to face us getting into the conversation. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. I could help YN as I did quite well in the last exam, Jungkook said, putting on his formal voice that he liked to reserve for teachers. Yes, that's a wonderful suggestion, Jungkook. What do you think, YN? I badly wanted to tell her no, but I didn't want to come across as bratty, so I reluctantly nodded my head. Yes, it is indeed a wonderful idea. We could start today if you like, YN, Jungkook said with a sweet smile as he tried to sell his innocent facade to the teacher. He hadn't fooled me, and I could see an evil glint in his eyes indicating he knew how much this arrangement was pissing me off. Still under the watchful gaze of my biology teacher, I reluctantly nodded my head. Excellent. I hope you guys have a great evening. Once she had left the room, the fake smile on my face quickly wrapped into a scowl as I turned to face my enemy. You just had to open your big fat mouth, I spat out angrily. Hey, I thought you wanted help, he said, holding his hand up innocently. Knowing he was right, I slumped down in defeat. Yeah, I do, I said with a sigh. Then I think the words you're looking for are thank you, Jungkook. I love you, Jungkook. Please marry me, Jungkook. Please have my babies, Jungkook, he said, teasing me. Yeah, I think I get it, I said, cutting him off before he could finish. You're a lucky girl, Chubbs. You get to ride in my Mercedes again, he said, wiggling his eyebrows at me. Yep, I'm thrilled, I said sarcastically. At home. No, YN, you left out the linked reaction. That's what comes after glycolysis, not the curved cycle, Jungkook said in frustration, looking at the biology textbook he had laid out on his desk. I was lying on my back on his bed, staring up at the ceiling, wishing I were anywhere but here. On the bright side, his bed was incredibly comfortable and it smelled like him. And God, did I like that smell. We had been at it for about 2 hours now, and I think both of us were starting to get a bit tensy. With a sigh, Jungkook took off his glasses, which seemed to somehow make him look even more hotter, much to my annoyance. Maybe we should take a break. I think we have been working for too long enough, he said with a sigh. Agreeing with him, I shot my thumbs up in response. Jungkook flopped down onto the bed next to me and turned to face me. What should we do now? I twisted my head to the side so I could face him, swallowing harshly as I found him closer than anticipated. I don't know, I mumbled softly, barely able to concentrate with him this close. I could literally see every detail of his near-perfect face, and it was extremely distracting. How about we play 20 questions? Jungkook suggested, looking across at me expectantly. I hesitated as I thought about the potentially embarrassing things he may ask me, but I kind of wanted to ask him a few questions of my own, so I decided to comply. Yeah, sure, I replied softly. Okay, you go first, he said. How would you describe yourself in 3 words? I said, decided to start easy. That's easy. Hot, fit, and hilarious. He listed off confidently with an obnoxious smirk on his face. It's nice to see your ego is strong and healthy. I also didn't know fit was all one word, I said, smiling at him in amusement. Okay, my turn. Do you have a crush on what's his face from the ice cream place? He tried to ask it nonchalantly, but his eyes were staring at me probingly, giving away the fact that he was very interested in my answer. Oh my God, Jungkook, not this again. Why are you wondering if he's taken? I said with a suggestive wink. Trust me, YN, I'm not gay, Jungkook said with a scoff. Can you just answer the question already? He said with a hint of tension. No, Jungkook, I do not have a crush on what's his face from the ice cream place, I said, rolling my eyes. He seemed to visibly relax after I said that. Do you have a crush on anyone? His eyes widened slightly as I asked him the question, and a long period of silence ensued before he finally answered. I do have a crush on someone, but she sort of kinda hate my guts, he said with a nervous chuckle. Really? What did you do? I asked, my eyes lighting up in amusement. A lot of mean things, I guess, he said, trailing off awkwardly. Why don't you apologize then? I suggested. She would probably just laugh in my face, and besides, she's better off without me anyway, he said with a harsh chuckle, his eyes looking distant and cold. You're not even going to tell me her name? I asked in frustration. I wanted to know for some reason. I was curious to hear what kind of girl Jungkook was into. Sorry, Chubbs, it's far too embarrassing for me to admit, he said as a slight redness started creeping up underneath his skin. Anyway, it's my turn again. Who was your first kiss? Why did he have to ask me that? Quick, come up with a lie, I thought to myself. I haven't, I mumbled out, my mouth betraying me. Upon hearing this, Jungkook's eyes widened in shock. Wait, are you actually serious? He asked as if he couldn't believe what I just told him. I hummed in response, too embarrassed to admit it for a second time. He probably thought I was a loser. If you're going to tease me, can you just get on with it already? I snapped impatiently, waiting for him to break out into a fit of laughter. Surprisingly, he never did. I'm not going to laugh at you. I was just shocked, that's all. I just assumed you would have because you're so confident and pretty. Not that it means you aren't because you haven't been kissed. He rambled out cutely, his face getting redder and redder the more he spoke. Wait a second, did Jungkook call me pretty? I think it's best you quit while you're ahead, I said, trying to save him from embarrassing himself any further. My turn now. What are you most afraid of? As soon as the words left my mouth, his whole demeanor changed and he immediately shot out of the bed as if I burned him. It's getting late. I should take you home, he said abruptly, completely ignoring my question. What the hell was that all about? At class, Jungkook had been ignoring me all week. Normally this would have been a good thing, but I couldn't help but feel incredibly disappointed. I had no idea the question would upset him so much, otherwise I would have asked him. I wonder why he was so nervous to answer. Just as my friends and I started to make our way to a new topic of conversation, a flamboyant girl named April came marching up to us. Hey girls, how are you? She said with an overly cheerful tone. She was one of those girls who liked to seem as though they were friends with everyone, and she was also one of those typical girls who seemed to be obsessed with Jungkook. I was just wondering if you girls wanted to come to a party I'm throwing tonight. I was quite shocked. April wasn't the type to be openly rude, but she also wasn't the type to invite just anyone to her party. Those parties were usually reserved for, as cliché as it sounded, the popular kids. Yeah, sure, we would love to come. Right, guys? Said Chloe, deciding to be the spokesperson for our group. The party was full in swing and you could already hear the loud beat of the speakers from outside. I couldn't help but think how on earth her parents let her have a party with this many people. My parents would have killed me if I invited this many people over. Hey guys, you made it, come on in, said April, who was waiting to greet people at the door. I'm going to get a drink, Chloe said as she headed straight to the kitchen. Okay then, see you in a minute, May said, leaving me alone. Oh hey Ryan, I didn't know you were here, said a cheerful familiar voice from behind me. Swirling around to see who I was talking, I saw Ben. I smiled back at him, happy to see a familiar face. Yeah, my friends dragged me out here, I said with a laugh. As I laughed, I couldn't help but feel as though someone was watching me. Turning my head slightly, I saw Jungkook from the corner of my eye. He was sipping a drink while April tried to make conversation with him. He didn't seem at all interested in what she was saying, and his eyes firmly focused on glaring at the back of Ben's head. If looks could kill, Ben would be 10 feet under. Why did he hate poor Ben so much? Realizing I was also being rude and not listening to Ben properly, I turned to focus my attention back on him. I guess I'll see you around. I think I'm going to grab a drink, Ben said as he suddenly entered the conversation and headed off. Chloe and May came back into view, returning from the kitchen. Oh, he's hot. Who is he? Said Chloe, looking at Ben as he walked away. He works at Sugar Shake with me. Why, are you interested? I asked with a teasing smile. Anyway, let's dance, I said impatiently, dragging them towards the direction of the dance floor. Once we were on the dance floor, I immediately started moving to the beat of the music, finally in my element. As soon as the music switched to my favorite track, I started dancing freely as though nobody was watching, boldly shaking my hips without a care in the world. From the corner of my eye, I could see Jungkook watching me with a startling intensity, his eyes not leaving my body for 1 second. For someone who was trying to ignore me, he sure spent a lot of time staring at me. It was really starting to annoy me that he seemed to plague my every thought. It was driving me insane. I was supposed to be here to enjoy myself and let go, but that was near to impossible with him here. For more videos, please subscribe this channel. Have a great day, dear ones. Bye.